Oh no. Oh no. Oh, yep. Okay. Every single person knows. Every single person knows how this prediction is going to go. Am I the hole for threatening to break up with my boyfriend because of his non-stop Trump jokes? I'm Canadian, and my boyfriend is an American-Canada dual citizen. Things have been pretty good between us, but recently he's been making non-stop jokes about Trump, how we're going to be a part of America. We're basically already a part of America now, etc. I told him a few times that I wasn't a fan of these jokes, especially because they seem to undermine my Canadian identity. He just brushes it off, saying it's just a joke and I should lighten up. But he keeps doing it and it's annoying. We literally got here. We got to this point where we're at right now because everything was just a joke. It's just a joke until it isn't anymore, and your neighbors are being carted off. The breaking point came when I started buying Canadian groceries, trying to support local products. I picked up some things from Canadian brands. He got mad because he said he preferred American brands since they taste better and complained that he shouldn't have to pay more for Canadian stuff. He told me to, quote, stop bitching about Trump's tariffs and said I was making everything more difficult for him over some trivial stuff. No, the man is bad. No, the man, irredeemable. The man is irredeemable. Out the window. Child boy. Man baby. But the real kicker was when I spent hours making him Naimu bars since he likes them. Okay. What is Naimu? A Naimu bar is a no-bake dessert named after Nanaimo, a Canadian city in British Columbia. It consists of 3 layers, a coconut crumb base, a custard filling, and a chocolate ganache topping. He saw them on the counter, ate one, looked at me and said, no more Canadian snacks. We are the newest American state. Bake me some chocolate chip cookies. He's not joking. He's not joking. If you've politely asked him to stop because they make you uncomfortable several times, he's not joking anymore. At this point, I just lost it. I told him that unless he could respect Canada as a separate country and stop making these jokes, I was done. Honestly, it's not even about respecting Canada as a separate country. It's about respecting you in the relationship and your Canadian heritage. And he's disrespecting you and Canada. The disrespect for you is the problem. Like, yes, the whole thing about Canada becoming the 51st United State is fucked up and wrong and bad, and the jokes about that are terrible, awful, no good, very bad. But the issue is you asked him to do something. You asked him to stop doing something that made you uncomfortable, and he is refusing. I basically threatened to break up with him over this, and he told all of our friends, and now they have me feeling guilty about it. Am I the hole for threatening to break up with him over his constant Trump jokes and dismissive attitude towards my Canadian identity, and not wanting to be a part of America, and him thinking it's a complete joke when it actually bothers me? Part of me feels like he does it to get a rise out of me, but our friends said that I'm being silly. Your friends suck too. Edit. He is not a Trump supporter and apparently supported Biden and then Harris, which makes it even more annoying knowing he doesn't support Trump and says the jokes to piss me off. The call is coming from inside the house. I like this top comment. I don't think you want to break up over the jokes per se. It seems more like the constant disrespect and disregard for your feelings. He's behaving like an obnoxious twat and enjoying pissing you off. It's hardly a surprise you want to dump him. Only don't threaten dumping him. Just dump him. Even if they are quote unquote just jokes, he's disregarding and disrespecting you. And that's the problem. Break up with him. New Dicky going live. Am I the hole for getting upset when a customer wanted to change the amount he tipped on his check? Now that the dickie is over, I will tell you that this comes from r/Tales from your server, and the title was reframed by the person who cross-posted it on r/Hole Inspector. The original title is Guy Tips Big to Impress His Date, but Returns Afterwards to Take the Money Back. We had a guy come in last night with his date. Throughout the evening, he was the picture of courtesy and good manners. He complimented me, thanked me every time to refresh waters or check on the table, made a point to be forgiving of a kitchen mistake, super extra nice, the dream customer, really. I appreciated it, but didn't delude myself that it was the source, and figured he was in a good mood because the date was going well. They were chatting, laughing, having a great time, so I assumed I was an indirect beneficiary. He was certainly in some kind of celebratory mood because he was sparing no expense. He asked for our highest quality wine. She got our most expensive entree. He ordered one of every appetizer for her to sample when she made a remark that she was having trouble deciding. It was a real feast. So the evening starts wrapping up and I get their check. I ask if they'll be together or separate. She starts to say separate, but he makes a big deal of saying, oh, are you kidding? Together, definitely together. You never have to pay when you're with me, babe, and so on and so forth. Then slides me a credit card. I get everything sorted and bring out the receipt. He fills it out and it came to $289 total. He doesn't even blink and makes a big show of leaving a $100 tip. He thanks me for my service and emphasizes what a lovely night that they've had. Of course, a tip that size is exceptional. I thanked him profusely. He said there was no need to thank him and goes on a big tear about how underappreciated wait staff are and to just think of it as a stand-in for all the ingrates who didn't treat me right, going, don't plan to tip, don't plan to eat out, you know? Looking at the mesmerized girl the whole time and not giving me a glance. I could care less where he was looking. I was looking at the upcoming $100. I thanked him again and said I hoped to see them back soon, and that was that. So he helps her into her coat and off they go. Great night. I was riding high. About 90 seconds later, he's back in the door without her going, I think I left my... Then when the door shut and looking make sure she was out of earshot, he goes, without the slightest shade of shame or embarrassment, mark the tip down to $20, hun. I was just playing it up for my date. You understand, and turns to go. I understood, but not how he hoped I would. But I couldn't make a scene in the middle of work. That's not my place. So I just said one more time in order to give his conscience a chance to sink in. Okay, sir, you'd like to amend your tip from $100 to $20, is that correct? And even though I didn't show a hint of displeasure in my voice, he shot back extremely hostile, yes. And if I see a cent over the 20 on there, I'm going to dispute my whole meal with my credit vendor, so don't try to pull anything. The most frustrating part of this for me was not even going from an over 30% tip to under 10%, but rather that this poor girl was being strung along with no idea who the guy was behind her back. It was extremely manipulative of him, which is a major red flag. Absolutely. Yes. I've had my fair share of toxic relationships in the past and really wish someone had pulled the blinders off my eyes. So desperately wanted to do something to alert this girl to the trick the guy had pulled, hoping it would be a catalyst to her questioning his other actions. But again, I was at work, and that just wasn't my place. So I altered the bill, and that was that. Then, just in time, something occurred to me, and I darted outside, hoping to catch them in the parking lot. I got lucky. They'd parked on the street instead, and he was still dealing with the parking meter. So I flagged him down, rushed across the street, nearly stumbled into traffic in my haste for a delicious moment. His date was already in the car, but rolled down her window since no one expects the waitress to follow you out to your car, waving her arms like a crazy person. I made it across and said, more than loudly enough for her to hear, Sir, we amended your tip from $100 down to $20 as you requested, but you'll actually need to fill out a different receipt reflecting your new total for our records. Your old receipt still has your original tip of $100 written on it, but since you just came in and asked us to charge you $20 instead, we can't have a discrepancy for our records. I hope you understand. This is just a bookkeeping regulation that goes way above me, has nothing to do with you retroactively downgrading your tip from $20 to $100. We're just glad you enjoyed your evening. His jaw was on the floor. He tried to pretend as though he didn't know what I was talking about, trying to give me some line about it. I think you're after someone else. I'd only come back because I'd forgot my keys, but I would not let it rest. The more he played dumb, the more I repeated versions of, you wanted to change your tip from $100 down to $20. You came back in, and so on and so on. So we went back and forth for a few more seconds, and finally he went, okay, whatever. Sorry for the miscommunication. If you need me to fill out a new receipt, I can. And I, totally even keeled, was like, you only need to fill out a new receipt if you want to change your tip from $100 down to $20. And I'm guessing he didn't have the money in his account because he did it. He filled out the new receipt. His girlfriend was visibly shocked, and the man was staring daggers through me. You could feel the rage emanating off of him. It was vicariously quite satisfying in place of the other toxic men I never did get the confrontation with, and all the bad tippers. Ironically, the exact kind he made a righteous speech decrying just a few minutes beforehand. And then off they drove. I'm sure never to patronize our restaurant again, but hopefully never to go out together again either, which would make it totally worth it. You could have absolutely kept the $100. He wouldn't have been able to dispute it because you could literally send them a receipt where he signed $100. However, you got to make this big show, and I think that's worth $100. That's worth $80 to me. Expensive meal out with your hot date, $289. Big expensive tip in order to show off in front of your hot date, $100. Unmasking a narcissist, terrible person in front of their date so they know exactly what kind of man he is, priceless. I have to do Bing Hall Squares first. I cannot believe the title that I just read. What? Are you incredibly sat and prepared for the ridiculous, heinous, awful title I'm about to read to you directly into your ear holes right now? Am I the hole for putting my penis in peanut butter and leaving it in the kitchen? Left the whole strap in the jar. Yeah. You don't make your PB&Js with a strap? That's weird, dude. Just slathering peanut butter on bread with just the biggest, veiniest, monstrous. I'm looking for some assistance determining whether I am the hole in this situation that has divided our house into two groups. I, 20 male. That makes sense. Am a college student living with 4 other guys my age. It's our second year living together, and last year we had an issue with people eating food that isn't theirs. So now we have a strict label your stuff and only eat things with your name on it policy. My girlfriend and I like to get a bit frisky in the bedroom. A few nights ago, I dipped my penis in peanut butter and she licked it off. Yes, I understand that it is slightly bizarre, but that's how we roll. The controversy is that since we have a mouse problem, I did not want to leave the peanut butter in my bedroom. Your sealed, shut, closed peanut butter jar. Can you look at me in my delicious blueberries and tell me that you were full committed to still using the peanut butter after you violated it in a very real and holy way that you couldn't have just thrown it out afterwards, and instead you were like, I don't want to leave it in my bedroom. We got Mises in here. I better go put it back in my cupboard that's accessible to the whole household where I live with 3 other guys. Note that it had a huge label on it with my name, so it was clear that it belonged to me. One of my roommates tells me yesterday, oh, by the way, I had some of your peanut butter. He sees my visibly shocked reaction and asks, what's up? So ultimately, I come clean about the whole deal. He's furious and says, why the F would you put it back in the kitchen? I remind him of the mouse situation, our policy not to have other people's labeled foods. This is the first time all year that somebody has had my labeled food and informed me after the fact. He said it was just some peanut butter on his bread. It's not like he was taking full chicken breasts from me. My house is split 3-2 on who is in the wrong, and it's spilling over into other aspects of our living situation. We need to get over this pronto, so I'm asking, am I the whole? Info. We have sort of divvied up cupboards, so it was kept in my space. It wasn't a communal cupboard. It was labeled with your name. Should it have gone back in the kitchen? Abso-friggin-lutely not. Should you there's no way in God's green earth that you intended to. He wanted more peanut butter based adult fun time action with his girlfriend. He wasn't going to use it for more sandwiches. That was for more peanut butter play. He stored his sex peanut butter in a kitchen cabinet. Right? Does he also keep his lube in the cabinet? No. I think everyone sucks here. I'm definitely on the train of everyone sucks here. You shouldn't have used food that wasn't yours, that had someone else's name on it. You shouldn't have put your sex peanut butter in the communally available kitchen cabinet. Yes, sure, it was your section of cabinets, but you put your sex peanut butter in the kitchen. Penis butter doesn't go in the cabinet. It goes in your special fun time adult horizontal sheet shuffle good fun time drawer. Okay? Come on. Maybe he thinks they have super mice that can chew through the plastic or smell it through the walls. Yeah, to be fair, mice can chew through plastic. My point is, they're not going to be able to smell the peanut. They're going to smell the peanut butter on your penis before they smell the peanut butter in this sealed jar. Wait, hang on. I got to see what the talk comment is. Everyone sucks here. I mean, you're right. It was labeled as yours and he shouldn't have eaten it. But sex toys, which is what this peanut butter became after you put your penis inside of it, shouldn't be kept in the kitchen around other food. It's just unsanitary, honestly. The dichotomy of these fucking titles, Fancom Tax Jizzler Bracket up against Enjoy. This one makes me so afraid. It was purposeful. I want to make sure that you enjoy coming.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg and my arm.
To the stream! To the stream! To my channel! To our community! To arrive at the channel, the community, and the stream, okay? I want you to enjoy your time here. God damn it.